denied first win at this level in 43 years. But another game with promise. Welcome back to Where Red Dragons Walk with myself, Luke, and today alongside me we've got Steve, Andy and Ed. So, Andy, so close to 3 points.
Well, so close, but to be honest, did we really deserve to be 2-0 up? I don't think we did. I thought they controlled the game. I thought Sheffield Wednesday played well first 15, 20 minutes. We came back into it, scored 2 goals with Kiefer Moore. But we never looked, I don't know about the other two, I was never confident. I was never confident we were going to win. The one thing that they played with heart and with passion as much as I've seen from any other club. You think the troubles that they're in. And the supporters were fantastic. Ours didn't help because the Kairos was like a morgue. It was the Wrexham fans, I think, have been quiet all season. I don't know what you other guys think. I think we've been quite quiet. And yesterday, we were 2-0 up. Their fans started cheering, and I was one of them. We were all standing up, clapping Sheffield Wednesday, and within 2 minutes, they went and bloody scored 2-1, and that was it. We give them an encouragement, and then, as I said, Bannon just ran the show. He was everywhere. We gave him so much space. I think us as fans, and I think the players are learning some hard lessons. I think it's not going to be a cakewalk, and I didn't think it would be, but I think maybe some fans thought it would be easy. It ain't going to be easy. There's an awful big difference between the league we're in now and where we've come from. The space, the pace of the teams, the way they're attacking us is different. And I think, look, I don't think we can forget that we're playing with a relatively new team. But I also think that we changed it yesterday and we brought on 2 subs where we didn't really... Kiefer Moore needed to go off. We probably needed to change him. We definitely needed somebody in midfield who could come in. But we didn't really look at the bench. We didn't really have anybody. We had young Harry Ashfield and we had Elliot Lee, and neither of those two are real controllers. My view is, I think, from what I understand today, we've got bids in for 3 quality midfield players. If we can buy one of those, we're short of what I would call a midfield enforcer, somebody who can control the game, put the foot on the ball, and more importantly, put the foot in when they have to. I think, apart from McLean, and unfortunately, I think he's being found out, I think we're too nice. I think we're too nice across the centre of the field. We haven't really got anybody that's really going to get stuck in. And I thought yesterday, unfortunately, I thought as good as, I must admit, I was never a great fan when we signed him, but he certainly won me over. I thought for the last couple of years, James McLean has been phenomenal, but I don't know what you other 2 guys think. I think he's been found out, and I think it's unfortunate. But we've got the lad Doyle on the bench. I'd have brought him on. I'd have brought him on with 15, 20 minutes to go to secure that defence up as well. And the other thing is, we can't keep defending a lead. We're getting in front, and Parky, bless him, has always gone that way. He's defended a lead, and I thought that we gave the ball away far too easily, and we've got to be far more clever than what we are now.
Yeah.
But listen, we've come a long way from where we were. I know, and it is going to be tough. And for me, I've said all along, if we finish outside that bottom 3, I'll be happy. That'll do me.
Ed, game of 2 halves. Is that fair statement?
I think a game of 4 quarters. Game of 4 quarters.
What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, no, I agree with the first half. We were 2-0 up, and it was like, wow, where did that come from? I don't think we deserved. I agree with what Andy said there. We didn't deserve to go 2-0 up. 15 minutes of the first half, I thought we played really well, though. And really, if we'd have paused the game there, I thought we'd have gone on 3-4-0 comfortably. We looked like we were knocking it about and really in control. But as Andy said, the second half, everyone in the crowd, everybody knew what was happening. Sheffield Wednesday were taking over the game. We were getting overrun in midfield. The goal was coming. The first goal was coming. Then there's no changes. The second goal comes. And we were very lucky, fortunate in the end that they had a wonderful chance, last kick of the game, which which Ward saved, they could have had all 3 points, to be fair. And I think overall Sheffield Wednesday deserved all 3 points. So yes, team of two halves, but I would say we were pretty average first half, awful second half, one of the worst I've seen us for many years. Just a little bit further there on what Andy was saying. Before, a few months ago, outside the bottom three, absolutely I would be happy with, this is a new level championship ball. But I think with the net spend, I expect a bit more now. I'm expecting us to be at least comfortable mid-table. If you look at them, I know it's going to take time for them to gel. I know pre-season wasn't great, but I really, really would expect better than just survival. And I think looking at Saturday, there's a lot of people that question whether the manager can change things tactically. We know he's a fantastic manager with bringing groups of players together, bringing players together who really, really want to, play for the badge, play for the shirt. But tactically, nothing changed yesterday. So maybe that is that there was no faith on the bench that someone could come in and shore up that midfield. But again, it's the same 5-3-2. It's the way we always play. And I think we're at a level now where managers, the more astute, tactically, the more aware. And there's got to be at some point, surely there's got to be a plan B, because we no longer have the advantage of we haven't got the best players in the league. Well, we've last couple of seasons we've been the best 2 or 3 teams, really, really good players to, quality versus other teams. Now we haven't got that advantage anymore.
Yeah, very fair points. I think a positive from the game though was Kiefer Moore, Steve. I think he's the big old Kiefer Moore. He's going to be a player for you, isn't he?
Oh my goodness! Like, what's not to love about him? The one thing I am going to call out, because I've listened to multiple podcasts. I chat footy whenever I can with people, and that's a warning, by the way. You see me on the street, you bring up Wrexham, get ready for an hour-long conversation that you may not want, but his tenacity and his love to play the game, that passion, that's what we need to see a lot more of. We know he's injured. Like, that ankle's still bothering him, and he's still getting in there. He's playing hard. And what really, I'm not a person that ever says, hey, the refs, blew a game. But their first goal, clear foul on Moore, opens up all of that space for them to drive on in more, right? And Moore's up there going, what's going on? Yeah, he's a big man, but hey, if you're tugging and pulling on him, and it was obvious the amount of space that was given to run in, Now, am I saying that was the cause of what happened? Oh gosh, no, I am not that daft. We did not show up in the second half. We looked dead. We looked uninspired. And looking at the bench, Parky's not confident in his bench, and we've got a lot of people missing. Again, I'll allude to this. Some great chat before the podcast started. I agreed with, and I've been saying it for the last couple of days with people. Rathbone's energy in there is what we need. I think him and O'Brien combined will drive them nuts. It'll take away that space. But yeah, we do need an enforcer out there in the midfield, somebody that's going to play them hard, make them play with their heads up, knowing that they're going to get stuck and that they're going to be punished for coming down. But again, yesterday, it was just another revisit of the last 2 matches. The panic play, the lack of possession, just volleying the ball down the field to watch the wave come right back in again. And settle down the panic. And I'm not picking on this defender, but there was one play in particular where Cleworth was the last one to get his foot on the ball. And instead of clearing it out of bounds, he volleyed it back up the field. And I went, oh, it's coming right back. And it did. The whole second half, it just came back in. And as soon as that first goal went in, I just went, oh, we're in some trouble. And for anybody that was critical of Ward, that save at the end of the match, it was epic. We needed that. Watching a 3-on-2 come down with seconds left to go, I went, oh no. And that was massive. So, hey, again, I'll defend attendees all day long, keepers. I will defend them all day long. That was a massive save for us to preserve our first point.
Yeah. 100%. Ed, so talking about transfer window, we've got a week left, so we were talking about that previously. Who do you want in? If you had the power, who are you bringing in the next week or so?
So there's a lot of rumours around midfielders. I would love Jordan James. Like, obviously, Wrexham fan, Welsh fan as well. He's so good in a Welsh shirt. And he just seems to me a Parky type of player where he's going to give his all. He's going to be up and down that pitch. And he could work as kind of an enforcer because he's tough in the tackle. So for me, there's a couple of players as well that we've been linked with. I'm not as familiar because bear in mind, we've risen quite high quite recently. So there's a lad at Southampton I know that we're being linked with. We've paid apparently 7.5 million is the rumour. I don't know too much about him. But certainly for me, Jordan James would be a fantastic signing. He would be superb. And certainly if you had Jordan James in the midfield on Saturday, we wouldn't have drawn. We would have seen that game out, no problem. I'm pretty convinced of that.
What about you, Steve? Who would you like to see in come the 1st of September?
I'm like Ed, right? Your guys' knowledge on players in the different leagues right now is far beyond me. So when somebody's announced, I'm quickly researching them and looking them on up. So anybody that can help stop the bleeding right now, like just to be honest, it's obvious we need help. And Parky himself has said that, like, we're going to be making some more signings here. Like, it's just obvious. And again, it's not knocking the players that were on the bench. Not like they're going to be legends in my mind forever because of what they've done. Well, we need help. When we have a healthy squad, they get more time together. I'm looking forward to conversations with all of you in, mid-October, because I think it's going to have shifted for us right around then, and then we're going to be feeling a little bit more comfortable.
I think you've done some great business already, though. I think Callum Doyle, Ed, I think that's a great bit of work, great business.
Yeah, well, we wanted him in last game, right? Like when the bleeding was happening, throw him in there. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Because the worst already was happening, right, Ed?
Ed, what do you think? Big fan?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, but that is quite a Parky thing to do, isn't it? To the first couple of games when there's a new player, he does tend to leave them out, and then we see them a couple of games later. So for me, it wasn't a massive surprise, but I think, what a signing. I mean, on paper, he looks a fantastic signing, and someone we really, really need, because, we've got a couple of young centre-backs in there. This is a big step up. This is Championship. Doyle's played Championship for the past few years, but he's still incredibly young, incredible potential as well. So I'm really excited to see him. Hopefully he'll play in the cup game versus Preston.
Yeah, no, definitely. Talking about what the owners have done transfer-wise and business-wise, I think we have to mention the charitable way they've gone about trying to get some funds in place off the back of one of the shirts, isn't it, Steve? So to give to Sheffield Wednesday. So brilliant from the owners.
Oh, absolutely. Like, the one thing you love about this ownership group, is the fact that they don't lose sight of where the club came from, the struggles they went through. So, for the fact that McElhenney stepped right up. Oh, sorry, Rob Mack. He keep forgetting he's rebranded. Rob Mack stepping up and saying 10,000 shirts will be allocated for this, and the proceeds will go to Sheffield Wednesday was massive. It just shows their love and knowledge of the game is increasing, and knowing what it means to communities, right? What an incredible gesture. The only thing like the Wrexham fans, will all now agree on is the second we step through the boys step through the tunnel to start the match, all that support should have shut off, and we should have been full blown. You're in our house. We want to send you off with a really horrible away gift with a loss, right? But it's early on.
Yeah, definitely. Just for our audio listeners, Andy's having some technical issues, so that's why you're not hearing from him right now. Ed, just touching on Sheffield Wednesday's situation, as you obviously just did play him, it's a sad case, isn't it? And it kind of gives you even more perspective of Wrexham's situation and how they've sort of pushed on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm really hoping the Sheffield Wednesday situation turns around really, really quickly. Obviously, everybody knows that we've been there as well, so we are appreciate how horrible it is. And Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, it's a club with such history. It's an absolutely huge club. But it was nice to see the fans coming together on Saturday. But I do agree completely with what Steve says. Let's be friends before the match. Let's have a beer after the match. But during the match, yeah, it did come back to bite us that everyone was clapping the Sheffield Wednesday fans and then they scored, which I'm sure is quite an iconic moment for them. It's a huge club, and I'm really, really hope that things, are sorted pretty soon for them. But fair play to the players that they've got on the pitch. They were fantastic second half. In fact, I'd say out of the 3 games we've had, that second half by Sheffield Wednesday was the best we've probably seen from a team so far this season.
Yeah,
nicely absolutely dominated.
Yeah, nicely said. Finishing on tweet of the week, and we sort of have briefly covered it, but we'll go a little bit further into detail. So it is saying soft underbelly, it's a mindset. So obviously, I think that what they're talking about is obviously what happened in the previous games, and obviously the game just gone against Sheffield Wednesday. Steve, that's something that needs to be changed and something that needs to be worked on, isn't it?
Yeah, you should be punished when you're playing on our pitch, especially at home, right? We can't make it easy for you to come into our home, and then it's got to be difficult to win it, right? So, again, the bigger picture, right? And we can all see this. We're missing a lot of key players on the pitch right now. We definitely do need help. Like, it's still there. And again, I'm not insulting players. Like, I think Brunt and Cleworth are going to have a great, run with our club for a long period of time. But this is a massive adjustment. It's a massive adjustment. The game's that much quicker. It's that much more relentless. And the echoing of the punishment. You're going to get punished when you make a mistake. We saw that again. We almost got punished with 30 seconds left to go in the match because we overcommitted without getting a shot in, and it almost came back to bite us again. We have to be more fierce at home.
Does Parky have something to say about that, Ed?
About us having a soft underbelly?
Yeah, does he have something is the blame on him? Does he need to instill a little bit more grit to grind out them results?
Well, to be fair, I mean, one of Parkinson's strengths is certainly we can be quite an ugly football team that does get stuck in. And certainly during our, last season, League One, if we weren't playing well, the players would roll their sleeves up and, they'd be tough in the tackle. They'd fight for the shirt. So this has been quite a timid start. For me at the moment, it's more tactically with Parkinson that we certainly need a plan B. So rather than, geeing the players up to be more aggressive or whatever, I think there's more a tactical problem that's going on at the moment. I totally agree that we're missing some key players. But I really, really want to see things change. And for when things aren't going our way, right, here's what we're going to do to change it. Here's a new formation. Here's something that's going to make a difference on that pitch. But I do think, for me, Saturday, Parkinson was at fault.
Okay. Thank you, boys. Hopefully hope there's hope for a more positive week coming, and we'll have a more positive conversation next time. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Ed. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.